Most rich people aren't actually that rich. So people that are under middle class line financially, I don't want to say poor people because I think that's not just a financial situation, but also a state of mind. But let's say people below the middle class line, they're obsessed with finding opportunities to make money. That's what they're looking for, is opportunities. How can I spend $500, $1,000, $2,000 on a program where I can make an extra 10 grand a month on Amazon or being a reseller, whatever? How do I make 10 grand sitting in my pajamas? And that's why the internet is full of so many of those type of opportunities, because it's a gambler's mentality. You know, how do I get into something real quick and I can take a shortcut and start making, passive income or whatever. And that's what they're obsessed is what's the vehicle? What's the catapult? How do I get there? And what we learn over time is it's not the vehicle, it's the driver. That's where we got to put in the work. Middle class and upper middle class, and I'm going to include asset-rich millionaires in this as well, because I think that's the new upper middle class. They're consumed with three things: top line revenue, profit margin, and saving money. Saving money, first of all, I know how most of us were raised, especially if you're a Gen Xer or older, but having a bunch of money to make makes no sense, right? Most people aren't even outpacing inflation, realistically. So our money is just being burned every month. It's shrinking, right? We have to be more proactive than that. We can't be getting a 3, 4, 5% return on our money. And by the way, if you look at your financial statements, ROI is different than yield. So it's going to say your return on investment last year was 8.5%, 10%, but that's not what you actually made. If you look at the yield, most people average about 3.4 per year, which is not outpacing inflation, right? So we got to put money into mechanisms that compound. But again, they're obsessed with top line revenue or clients, profit margin, and of course, saving money. And that's why they're middle class or upper middle class. Now, the super rich are obsessed with absolutely thinking about how to take on strategic debt in order to gain tangible assets. How do you take on strategic debts in order to create asset building, real value? Because if our company is just revenue-based, there's no assets to be sold. You can't have an exit strategy. But we're thinking about assets. And by the way, you don't need a lot of capital to do that. You can use OPM, other people's money.